Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today is going to be an awesome one. We're going to be taking a look at the hot new time trial tech at IRONMAN South Africa, and trust me, there are some really cool custom pieces at this race, so stay tuned and let's get going. Wow, now this is a super cool tri-bike being ridden by South African Kyle Buckingham, which is the Diamond Mogul, with a super awesome integration option on the front end, which Diamond called a lunchbox, which fits up to 13 gels in, which is absolutely amazing compared to other tri-bikes out there. There's also another amazing option for storage on the down tube, where you can put inner tubes, spares, gas canisters, etc, etc. The bike looks very weird, but the big down tube and wide frame tests extremely aerodynamic in the wind tunnel. He has also opted for the Mavic tri-spoke front wheel, which is seeming to be a little bit more common nowadays, and the disc rear, as well as the drag to zero front end. Now we're on to Matt Troutman, who's got a really great setup. He is on the Felt IA FRD disc, which is actually the old Felt option and not the new one, which we saw Daniela race yesterday on in Oceanside 70.3, which I've also done a video on, so if you want to check that out, that would be cool and amazing. Now on here he's running some really cool custom bits. He's decided to run an oval chainring instead of a normal circular one. This is great because it maximizes efficiency and allows you to get a lot of inertia on that bike, and it looks for me like he's running a 2x setup with a 56 front, and I'm not sure what the smaller chainring is because I couldn't actually have a good look at that. He's also opted to run the drag to zero extensions and pads, which is a really great setup, high rise on the elbows to give him lots of comfort and support, and it's keeping his forearms nice and hidden from the wind, and it's constantly supported. We have Joe Skipper, who's on the brand new triathlon bike from Argon 18, which has disc brakes. He's running the revolver disc wheel in tri-spoke front, which is a super aerodynamic option. If we take a look at his front end now, this is the really cool bit with a custom built up cockpit designed for him. Now usually on a time trial bike you'll have separate arm cups and extensions, whereas with his front end it's all big one basically carbon piece, which fits exactly to his style, allowing him to have a really good forward position and get super tucked up and aerodynamic. Another cool thing as well, if we look at his riser stack, he's got a carbon plate which is sat on top of that, which is allowing him to push his extensions further forward and again get into a super aerodynamic position. He's running a 1x on this course, and he's not actually got a chain catcher, which means if he goes over bumps there's a likelihood his chain is going to drop, and this did actually happen on this race. His chain dropped a few times. He's running a single tooth chainring. I think it's a pyramid 58 tooth or maybe a 60 tooth, so it's a very big gear that he is pushing, but again he's super powerful. He's also running a wax chain. You know, he's saving watts here and there, and that's what it takes to be the best if you look at it, you know, making all these marginal gains. Skipper's also opted for a Rudy Project helmet, which sits really nice on the back of his head and allows him to have a really flush position with no gap between his back and the helmet. And on top of this, he's opted to run a bottle between his arms, which is great because there's no drag penalty for this, and it's basically optimizing aerodynamics without costing him any watts and savings. So all these marginal gains are going to add up and allow him to be as fast as possible. Now on to the woman in blue, Daniela Bleimel, in those classic blue colours of Erdinger alcohol free. She is running the Canyon Speedmax, the new one with disc brakes. She's opted for Swiss side disc wheel and a Swiss side 90mm front, which is a little bit of an odd one considering she's quite a light rider, and this is a very windy course in which we've seen a lot of other lighter women riders opt for those shallower front rims. Anyway, it seems to be working for her, and she's an absolute powerhouse. As we can see, that front end is extremely dialed in. Her forearms are absolutely snuggled and contained within that sort of carbon extension. We can also see she's got that bottle on the down tube, which often adds to the aerodynamics of the bike, as we know with the Giant Trinity and also this Canyon Speedmax. We haven't seen one of these bikes in a while, with Nadine van Heden from South Africa on the Specialized Shiv, the Zwift Tri-Academy version from 2019, I believe. The ex-gymnast has also opted for the wide Kismet arm cups, which fit her forearms absolutely amazingly, and again, the drag to zero poles, which seem to be a very popular option in the pro field. It also looks like she has an Aerolab bottle on her front end, which is a bit of an odd one considering that she's on the Shiv, which is one of the most advanced integrated hydration options on the market, as well as the Roval disc reel she's running at the rear and the 60 front, which is one of the fastest wheel options out there, I believe. She's also opted for the Gyro Aerohead helmet and the visor, which is a super aero option and looks absolutely awesome. Last but not least, we have Jasper Svensson on the Ventum TT with some really cool mods on it. He has a custom revolver front end, very similar to Skipper, and that extremely forward position, suggesting that that type of front end really helps facilitate this elongated positioning a lot of these pro riders are going for nowadays, which clearly seems to be more aerodynamic as they've tested it in the wind tunnel. He has also stripped the integrated hydration system off the Ventum and opted for a bottle between his arms, which again is another popular option amongst the pros, and they seem to be going for this bottled option versus the integrated systems within the bike, which I'm not too sure why, considering if it's integrated within the bike and it's out the wind, why would you not run that? If you have any ideas, drop a comment down below, because I would be interested to hear your thoughts on that. He's also running the Zipp wheels with an 808 rear and a 404 front. So he's opted for that shallow rim on the front, which is something I personally would have done on this course, considering it's really windy and you don't want to be nudged around in that wind. He's also opted for a casque helmet. I believe it to be the Casque Bambino, although it may actually be the Mistral, if you pronounce it like that. I can't quite tell. But anyway, he looks extremely aero in a super cool position and seems to be absolutely smashing it, doing it absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for watching. If you've liked it, please subscribe and like, and I will see you guys in the next one because there are some really cool, awesome videos coming your way soon. Stay tuned.